ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side, brilliant, good! From 30 feet, John Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
Welcome into the Friday edition of The Drive. It is Friday, July 19th. Paul Swann, your host for today's edition. We're here until 6 o'clock this evening. We're going to talk a lot of Herd basketball to a degree. You know, the basketball tournament's coming up. It's starting. We've got a couple of West Virginia teams in it, and we've got a couple of Herd connections. We've got a Herd connection to Best Virginia. That's right. Jarrod West is going to join us on the program here in a little bit. We're going to talk to him because he's going to be our connection to Best Virginia that's participating in the basketball tournament. And then later on, guess who's going to be on with us? Ryan Taylor is going to come on with us. You know the West Virginia Wildcats are going to be your favorite team in the basketball tournament. You got Ott Elmore, John Elmore, Stevie Browning is on this team as well. Head coach Gay Elmore not receiving a single cent of this. So we're going to talk to him about the West Virginia Wildcats, and of course we'll talk to Jarrod West because his dad's coaching Best Virginia. That's right, senior. It's a great-looking team. Both of them are, but if you're a Mountaineer fan, that's a great-looking team for Best Virginia. And if you're a Herd fan, of course, you're definitely rooting for the West Virginia Wildcats. So that's what we've got on the show for you. And, of course, later on we'll take your phone calls. You can join us at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. You want to be a part of today's program. And also you can find me on Twitter at Paul Swann. And if I don't get to your tweets, don't think I'm not looking. I am following. Maybe I just can't get to your tweets sometimes. There's a lot of activity going on. I'm the lightning rod this week as far as what television packages look like. Yeah, that's a thing still. A lot of people are trying to figure out how Marshall can get a better deal, and some people think that the deal should be Marshall needs to be on over-the-air television maybe as well. And remember Herd football. Back in the day, Herd football was on over-the-air television. So what's more advantageous? If you're Marshall, what's more advantageous? If you are looking for as much exposure as possible, are you focusing on national platforms or platforms that the masses can get a hold of? You want the most reach possible. And what has more reach? Over-the-air broadcast channel, say WSAZ, WCHS. Say a Herd game was on WCHS. Does that have more reach than, say, a game on Facebook? Stadium's broadcasting a game on Facebook. Now, keep in mind, Stadium is on over-the-air broadcasting on the digital channel. And let's be honest, how many people have Facebook? I would say most of us have Facebook. Most people have a form of social media. Now, how well you can use that social media, that's another story altogether. But if you look at the Herd schedule, a lot of games are going to be on Facebook. A lot of games are going to be digital only. And it's really easy for me to say, hey, this is cool, because I can access most, if not all, that stuff. The BN stuff I was having problems with because I don't have BN. And while it was a noble effort on their part, BN was just not a platform that got to me. I was not able to really get it. And I didn't seek it out either because there wasn't much value for me. And that's the thing, again. On a Saturday, you're scanning the dials. Do you scan the dials just looking for random college football games? I mean, how does that work? You look and you see what the best matchup is, what interests you, and then you watch that game, right? That's how it works. I mean, do I scan the dials going, okay, let's see. This ESPN game, I'm just going to watch that. No, you're going to look and see what the best matchup is. And if you are home on a Saturday, that means either your team is on the road and you didn't go, or you're not going to a game. So you're the casual sports fan. You're the fan. And I don't say that to be negative. It's just you're not going to the game. You instead you're going to see what's on TV. You're going to watch a matchup. Going to the games maybe not your thing, not in the cards for you. mean, you could be a displaced fan also. You think about that. Not everybody went to Marshall. Not everybody in Huntington and the tri-state area a big fan of Marshall. I mean, same thing can be said for any school in any town and any college area in the country. Not necessarily everybody next to the college are fans. But back to the point, we listen and try to figure out what's the best path for exposure. And, of course, you want to be where the people are. And for the most part, if you have ESPN, you have it, you can get it, you can watch. But I think it's also, when you're looking for a game to watch, hey, what interests me? What's a fascinating game? And if you're sitting there watching and you're consuming college football all day, I mean, how many people are just locked in on their television all day long, just sitting there watching game after game after game, flipping game after game? And how many fans are instead just, they've got it on, they're scanning the dial. I mean, a lot of people jump back and forth. Why do you think Red Zone Channel is so successful in the NFL? You like watching football, but you can jump to all the games. I mean, the Red Zone Channel is fun. If I don't have a game to watch specifically on a Sunday, say the Bengals are off and I can't watch them, I'll watch Red Zone if I've got it. If I have Red Zone, I can watch whatever game comes my way, because when there's action, they're going to take me to it. And, I don't know if that's as successful on the college game that it is in the NFL, but I love watching Red Zone. I don't have to do anything. Best matchup right there. They're going to take me to where the action's at, and that's pretty cool, and I enjoy that. And, of course, college doesn't seem to have that same beast. We're watching the primetime matchup. Usually, we get an idea what the big matchups are. We watch game day. They tell us what the big matchups are, and we go watch the big matchups. And it's regional. It's based on, again, where fans are, what school they want to watch. But it's important. You got to have exposure. It's a double-edged sword. You got to have exposure at the same time. If people can get your game, they can find it on Facebook, then herd fans, the ones you're serving, they're going to get your game. And that's the thing. You want to make sure that your fans can find the game. You want to grow your fan base, of course. You want to be on and get exposure. And it helps if you're on ESPN, because ESPN's talking about you. Plain and simple, ESPN's talking about you. It's a different, college is different. It really is, because unless it's a really good matchup. For example, NCAA tournament, I'm going to get great matchups. I'm going to watch that. If I'm looking at, say, it's a Tuesday night, am I really flipping over to Fox Sports 1 to watch Big East basketball? I mean, is there a matchup that's going to compel me? Now, say Duke's playing North Carolina. Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch that. That's a good game. Kentucky's playing Duke. Hey, I'm going to watch that as well. I'm going to watch some of the big matchups. Games that are national in scope, I'm going to watch those games. I'm not flipping the dial cruising. Oh, hey, Duke and North Carolina, and let's see, Marshall's playing Old Dominion. I think I'll watch that game. If you're a casual fan, you might not be doing that. But television is important. It's just, what does television look like? What's the landscape going to be? How important is the traditional television package? Monetarily, it's important right now, but traditionally, that's how we decided what we're going to watch, is what's on the channel in front of us. Now, hey, Marshall's not on TV. Oh, look, they're on ESPN Plus. I got that. I can watch that. Or, Facebook. And I get that. I'd rather be on traditional broadcast outlets than, say, just Facebook as my sole exposure. I mean, you want to be big-time college football, you got to be on big-time college TV, right? Facebook, maybe in 15, 20 years, that's going to be where we all watch television. Who knows? But today, all I know is it's got to be something that actually compels me to watch. And you want to make that as accessible as possible. At the same time, you want to make sure it's worth watching. And so that's on Marshall. Hey, if Marshall's winning, Marshall's building a national profile, people want to watch Marshall. They're into the team. They like the story. They connected with the university. However, you want to be as available as possible. But right now, as it stands, games that are streamed on Facebook, if the herd's at home, it's going to impact those who can't get to the game or won't go to the game. If you're on the road, Hey, you know what? You can join me down at Roosters. Cheap plug there for the post-game show and the pre-game show. Join us at Roosters. Football season, win the Herds on the road. Okay, basketball tournament's coming up. Later on, we're going to hear from Ryan Taylor. Jarrod West is going to join us when we come back because Best Virginia features a familiar name as head coach of that squad. We've got the Herd Connection when we continue with today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You can join the program by calling 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255, our phone lines this hour. And every day brought to you by Miller Lite. Hold true, great taste, only 96 calories. The original light beer. Still to come, we're going to hear from Ryan Taylor coming up tonight. ESPN2, it is the basketball tournament, and we'll get to see some of your favorite Herd players, and we'll get to see West Virginia's entry, or at least one of two West Virginia entries into the tournament. The West Virginia Wildcats will be taking the court tonight. That's later on, and later on in the tournament as well, not tonight, but as the tournament progresses, there's another team, Best Virginia. And I had to do a double take just to make sure, thinking, well, wait a minute here. No, not this guy. He can't be on the squad. No, it's his father. But Jarrod West is with us now on the program. I was worried for a second, thinking, wait a minute, Jarrod, you're in this tournament. You shouldn't be, and you're on the wrong team to begin with. I was worried just for a minute.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I can't plan it, obviously, but I'm excited to watch the tournament. Honestly, there's a lot of good teams. Obviously, my dad is coaching one of the teams now, and some of my teammates are playing tonight. Actually, so I'm excited to watch everybody play. It's gonna be fun.
How cool is it to see him out there? And I know you have some fond memories of his days and his career, and he's going to be out there with a lot of talented players. So you look at these entries, both West Virginia teams have some serious talent, but what was your thought when you found out that he's going to be a part of this tournament and he's going to be coaching such a pretty strong squad there?
Well, I thought it was just a great experience, honestly, because the TBT has grown to be a pretty popular event, and a lot of people watch it. I watch a lot of the games. I watch a lot of the teams, and it's real fun. It's really competitive. There's a lot of good players that play in it, a lot of good former college players, even NBA guys that play in it. So, it's a very fun tournament, fun event to watch, to be a part of. So I think it's a very good experience. And I think they have a lot of talent on the team as well, so they're gonna have some chances.
How fun is it for him? Has he told you? Have you talked about how fun this is for him to get a chance to coach these guys and be a part of this tournament?
Yeah, he's really enjoying it, honestly, because he's obviously being an alumni from WVU, being able to coach other players that played after him. He's just really excited for that. He's got a lot of good players on his team that playing overseas or have played overseas. Obviously, I had really good careers at WVU. So he's just enjoying it. They played some exhibition games already. They're still practicing, trying to figure everything out. They're really excited, and I think he's excited too.
Can he still go if need be? Can he get out there and just put his athleticism to the test?
I think if he really had to, he could. I think it would take him a while to get loose, but I think once he got going, he could play. But I wouldn't recommend it for a long period of time.
What's the attraction for this tournament? There are other attempts at putting tournaments together and other attempts to bring basketball to the masses during the summertime when we don't have basketball. What's made this tournament seem like it's the one we all go to, the one we give the most respect to and actually hold as something that's pretty legit and pretty important and fun to watch?
Well, I think this tournament is, I think it's kind of similar to the NCAA tournament in the way that it's, set up and everything, and the amount of teams and the bracket and all that. And, it's winter go home, which a lot of people like. It's nationally televised games. There's basketball games on TV, so a lot of people are going to watch them. And I think, people are just connected to a lot of the teams. There's a lot of people from West Virginia that know a lot of guys for West Virginia, and probably know some guys from the Wildcats team as well. And I think people are just interested in that. And, I think that's why it's so popular now. Also, with $2 million being up the line and how competitive it really gets, especially down the stretch of the tournament, I think that's why people are so interested in. I think it's going to be a fun couple of weeks.
Jarrod West joining us, his father coaching Best Virginia in the basketball tournament, and he's got a few days before his game begins. And there's a lot of talent on this squad, and there's a lot of buzz with this. And the other side of this is, of course, as you mentioned, some of your former teammates are going to be part of the West Virginia Wildcats. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's say both teams get to a point where they have to face off against each other. Is it family before herd, or does the herd is the herd now your new family, and your dad's on his own?
Wow, that's a tough one. That is a tough one because my dad, he's my dad, so it would be hard to root against him. But at the same time, I think it'd be hard to root against some of my teammates as well. John and I know Stevie and Ryan. So it would be hard to root against them. I would just want to see a really good game. It would be hard for me to watch the game and pick a side, and go in there and root for one team or the other. So I'm not really sure how that would go, but I'll try to figure it out if I can do that myself.
You've got till August 4th if both teams make it, because if I'm reading this bracket right, semifinals August 4th in Chicago. So you've got until then to pick a side if you have to.
Uh-huh.
I know you're taking. I mean, you're obviously going to take your dad. I mean, because
I
you have to.
I think he's got a little unfair advantage because he's my dad. But it would still be tough though. I still want to see a good game. I want to see John and Stevie and Ryan and all them. I want to see them play well.
Just keep in mind, his team, your dad, his team, Best Virginia. I'm looking. I don't see any Marshall guys on that squad. Now the West Virginia Wildcats. Some herd guys there. You might want to play in this thing one year. I mean, you got to be careful. Also, you might be going up against your dad in one of these tournaments. Maybe. I mean, it's a thought.
Yeah, if that ever presented itself, I would, I'd be ready. I'd be excited. I'd definitely be playing the room for sure. I think that would be pretty fun, being able to play against my dad. Playing with my teammates again, playing with some older guys again, I think that would be very fun and competitive. And like I said, it's kind of similar to the state tournament. The way the bracket is set up, it's winner go home, there's different regions and stuff like that. So I think it'd be pretty fun.
You're going to be following along on TV. You're going to actually get to go up and watch some of the action.
I'm not real sure yet. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch the Wildcats play tonight for sure. But I'm not sure yet if I'm going with my dad. Yeah, I gotta figure that out, but we'll see.
Okay, make sure you rep the herd if you go. I mean, I know you gotta support your dad, but you gotta rep the herd at the same time. I know it's gonna be tough for you. You might want to have to get one of those blue, gold, green, white shirts just so you can.
No, I'll definitely rep the herd.
Okay,
sure. I'll definitely represent them.
All right, Jarrod West joining us. His father is going to be the coach of the Best Virginia entry into the tournament that's coming up, the basketball tournament. Before we let you go, I know, of course, young guys are going to be getting their fill of Coach D'Antoni soon, and you'll get to integrate with them sooner than later. It's really getting here faster than we thought, and also you're trying to make sure that Jansen Williams knows how to play the game of basketball. How's his development coming? I mean, have you been working with him?
Jansen. He's been a little up and down. No, I'm playing. Jansen's doing fine. He's going to be great for us. He's been around a long time. He's got a lot of in-game experience. So he knows what he's doing. He's definitely getting better. He's going to be a very big piece to our team this year. And I think his development is still growing. I think he's still got a lot of upside in him. So I'm excited to see how he does this year, and I think he's going to do fine.
Okay. You're saying that to be nice. I get that. I understand completely. Because, I mean, he's admitted to me privately that, I don't want to go up against Jarrod. I just don't. So I mean, you obviously have his respect because he just doesn't want anybody else. He said he'll take on, not you.
Well, I appreciate that coming from Jansen. I appreciate that a lot. But Jansen's a good player, though. So I think it'd be pretty competitive.
Jarrod West, our guest. Hey, man, thanks for joining us again. Good luck to your dad and his endeavors, and that would be fun. We get a matchup between the two West Virginia entries. That'd be really good, I think, for the entire state and all these guys. So good luck to your dad, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
Jarrod West, he's going to be rooting on his father. And, of course, we're going to be rooting on the West Virginia Wildcats in the basketball tournament. We got Ryan Taylor. He's going to join us next when we continue with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Still to come, we will get your phone calls in at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive. Paul Swann, your host. Our squad in the booth today, one Jansen Williams and one Gabriel Sellards, taking your phone calls, and you can be a part of the program once again at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. It's fun now to get this guy back on the show. We haven't talked to him in a while. He is one of the busiest mans in basketball right now. He's got, of course, coaching duties he's got to attend to, and he's going to be participating in the basketball tournament. If you remember his performance last year, one of the standouts for the West Virginia Wildcats, Ryan Taylor, now on the program. And I hope I'm not building the ego up too much, because you got to go right back out there tonight and see if you can get this West Virginia Wildcats team further this year.
Yeah, man. Hey, just happy to be on here. We got a good collection of Marshall basketball players and West Virginia basketball players, and we're just going to take it one game at a time. And we got a lot done last year, and we want to do even more this year.
How much of last year informed this year and putting this thing together and getting the band back together?
Well, one of the key players this year was still playing college basketball around this time. So it's good to have John Elmore on the team. And me and Stevie bring back a lot of experience. And last year, Odd Elmore was out with broken foot or something like that, but he's back here this year, and we got a couple of bigs. But I think we can get the job done. Still a tough region where we're at in Columbus, but very winnable, very doable. So a lot of excitement built up between us.
What makes this the tournament to keep coming back to? Every year this thing seems to get bigger and bigger. You're getting more talented players putting teams together, and it doesn't feel like this is just a pickup game. This really feels like this is a legit basketball tournament, and you guys really showed that you can compete in it last year.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes this thing special is, besides the winning prize, but it's the only basketball you got around this time before. And pretty much, baseball's in mid-season, so a lot of people tend to try to watch other stuff. But, it's exciting. You get to see former college players, former NBA players, just all come out and compete and do what they love doing, which is playing basketball. And then it always helps when you can possibly win $2 million, too.
Yeah, that's a motivator for anybody. And, that's an interesting part of this tournament, that it's winner take all. It's single elimination. You win or you don't. And so you're getting a lot of teams, people who you thought you hadn't seen play basketball in years, back out there. Of course, you're out there. The West Virginia Wildcats definitely repping the Thundering Herd. And you're right, you get John Elmore back there as well. He's going to be a part of this. I'm just surprised you're not a player coach. You should be the player coach of this squad. Instead, you got some you got a lot of Elmores on this team.
Yeah, we do. But I am on the court like I was in Marshall still a little bit, But we got a lot of basketball knowledge on the team with Stevie, John, Ott, Gay Elmore, just a little bit of everything. So it all helps out in the long run, and it helps out with the mix. So we feel confident this year. A lot of our players, we're in better shape. Me personally, I'm in better shape than I was last year. I remember last year I came off the beach, off an airplane, and came out here and played. So I've been playing a little more than what I did last year, so that helps out a lot.
Now, you guys are having fun, obviously, with this, but is there that business-like attitude for this? You're playing for a lot of money, so you want to go out there and do the very best you can, but is this more of a, all right, we know what we need to do, there's more focus to this, or was that just the same way it was last year, you guys just have a little bit more experience?
A little bit of both. It's serious. We take it serious regardless if we're playing pickup. That's just the competitive nature coming out of all of us. But at the end of the day, we also want to have fun. We know we're going to be on television, whether it's ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, whatever it is, and we don't want to look mad or anything like that. We're out here doing what we love to do, playing basketball, being around the game of basketball. So we also want to have fun, but we also, take it serious because it is $2 million. That's a pretty good piece of money at the end of the day,
Do you see this as an opportunity for a lot of guys as well to, if they do well in this tournament, maybe catch somebody's eye a little bit more? John, for example, using him. He's been through summer league. He's hoping to continue playing professional basketball, and he'll go as far as he can before maybe he gets into coaching, takes an opportunity like that. But do you see this as an opportunity for a lot of guys, maybe guys even on your squad, that you get hot, you go out there and you make a few heads turn that's going to open up some doors if you win this tournament or not?
Yeah, definitely. It's basically the NCAA tournament with the prize, with money at the end. You're out here, you're auditioning, regardless if you still play basketball or if you're just out here just playing. It can also help overseas contracts. It can also help people get contracts in the NBA. Just a lot of things are into it when you look at it at the end of the day.
Joining us on the program, Ryan Taylor, one of the all-time greats at Marshall University. And your career has taken an interesting turn. You're getting a chance now to mentor young athletes, and we haven't had a chance to get you on to talk about that. But you're in the coaching ranks now, and you're going to be hopefully competing for state championships here soon.
Yeah, definitely. It's a different side. I'm on different lines is what I call it now. I used to be actually in between the lines. Now I'm on the outside of the lines. But, I still have the passion, and that what I had with my kids in the summer, and they can tell that, and that's rubbing off on them. So it's always good, but it's definitely a different dynamic. But I'm having a lot of fun with it so far.
Is it anything that once you became the coach, not the player, the coach, is it everything you expected it to be, or were there some things that surprised you when you started taking on this role more as being the coach of the team?
There are a few things that surprised me. Just like, getting practice schedules together instead of being a player where I could just come in and it's already going and announcing it off and stuff like that. But I just try to teach them the game. I've learned from a lot of people, Coach D'Antoni to Coach Klein to Chris Duhon to myself playing against different people and different systems and different parts of the world. I just try to take it and put it all in one at the high school level, which definitely be a game changer because I don't know if many high schools are doing stuff like that. So I think if my kids can get that down, I think we can compete at some of the highest levels in high school basketball.
And while I've got you here, I'm kind of curious to see, how you feel early on with basketball in West Virginia, taking an interesting experiment for the next couple of years, reclassifying basketball teams. How do you feel as far as how these teams are going to be reclassified? Some teams are going to be in lower levels. Some teams are going to be in higher levels. Of course, Huntington St. Joe, you're going to be probably in a different level as well from where you're at. What's your impression? I know we haven't even gone through it just yet, but just looking at it to see how high school basketball is being reshaped. We don't have that many teams in the state of West Virginia to begin with, and now we have 4 classes.
I think it, like you said, it's an experiment. I don't know how long they keep it. I'm fine with it. I want to play against some of the best. And with St. Joe being a smaller school, we're going to have to step it up. And I don't know if my kids know that, but I think it happens in 2 years. But I told them, I don't care who we play against. I want y'all to play hard. I want y'all to, at the end of the day, say I can go out. I gave it my all, and that's what we're going to do, and that's the mindset I'm trying to build in them. So, I mean, I'm fine with it. I know it's going to be difficult at first for a bunch of schools. It's going to be difficult for me at St. Joe, being such a small school. So, but I think we can take on the challenge. It might take a couple of years. I'm not going to rush the progress or progression, but I think we can adapt to it and be just fine.
Joining us on the program, he's the head coach of Huntington St. Joe, also going to be in the basketball tournament, Ryan Taylor. Game tonight's on ESPN2, and one day maybe you'll be the coach and the player of this thing right now. Gay Elmore, he's going to be the coach. Does Gay still have it? Can he go out and play?
Yeah, he was actually out here playing with us the other day. Not a long period, probably quick, but he can play still. He can still play.
Could you take him? I mean, you could take probably him, Elmore, right? Ott, John, Gay. You could take them all.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, definitely. Me and John, we all have had our battles. We all have had fun doing it, especially at Marshall. So, yeah, it'll be good. We should try to get that on TV or something like that.
Hey, I would pay money to see that. You take on those guys. That should be a charity event right there. Now, we had Jarrod West. We had Jarrod West on just a few minutes ago, and of course, his dad's coaching West Virginia. You got 2 West Virginia teams in this tournament, and I put him on the spot. I asked him, who are you going to root for if it came down to the West Virginia Wildcats and West Virginia? He kind of had to go with his dad's team. How fun would that be if you got to meet up against the other West Virginia entry? And I'm sure a lot of people in the state will be talking about that game.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a lot of fun. That'll be the second time that matchup's happened in the past 2 years, I believe. So you'll have the tournament game and then us. So if that happened, hopefully we could get a better outcome than the tournament game. But it'll be definitely fun. It'll be even more funner if it was in Charleston, West Virginia, too, right there at the old Civic Center.
That would be fun. Those were some fun days. Ryan Taylor with us on the program. Hey, congratulations on being the new head coach. We haven't had a chance to talk to you about that. And good luck in this tournament. It's going to be fun. I actually got something to do tonight. Stay cool and watch a little ESPN2. And you guys have fun out there. And let's hope that we get to see you for several weeks in this thing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It's Ryan Taylor. He's going to be on that squad tonight. That consists of names like Stevie Browning, John Elmore, Ott Elmore, and maybe one day Jansen Williams will be on that as well. Is that a dream of yours to play in the basketball tournament after it's all said and done at Marshall?
If $2 million is on the line, yes, it's definitely a dream of mine.
You can handle that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Would you start? I mean, there's some good talent on this team.
There are some good talents. I'm not gonna lie, but
could you start on this team? I mean, could you? Let's see. You got a lot of guards on this team.
That's good because I'm not much of a guard, but
yeah,
I'll shoot from half court. If I need to.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I think we would. We think you're more of we think you power forward. If said and done, if we're putting you on this team, would you want to be more of a power forward on the squad?
More of a, I'd say, small forward.
Small forward.
Big, so.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out who we bump here. I don't know. Let's say.
I don't know if I can say.
Okay, we'll talk off the air. Off the air. I won't put you on the spot. We got more on the way. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Drive with Paul Swann, the 2019 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Best Talk Show on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
To be a part of the program, all you have to do is call 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255 to be a part of the Miller Lite phone lines. Miller Lite, hold true, great taste, only 96 calories. It is the original light beer. Now, this is Friday. That means on Monday, we get to go back to the Union. Finally, after a couple of weeks, back at the Union Pub and Grill. We're going to find out what's been happening with Herbie and the gang over the last few weeks. Now, I was going to send Dave Walsh out last week. We couldn't get that to happen. Instead, we didn't have shows last week, so now that we're over a lot of the technical problems back at the Union on Monday, crossing my fingers that we are going to be back at the Union. If not, we'll be right here in studio on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Hey, I want this West Virginia Wildcats team to go a few games at least. I mean, I want them to win the whole thing, but I want them to get to the finals, get to the semifinals. This will be fun. We'll have something nice to follow for a few weeks before we get into football season. And, of course, get to see some of your favorite guys play once again. This game is going to be on ESPN2 coming up tonight. I mean, let's look at the team here. I mean, I really didn't want to just break down the roster with Ryan, but you got Ott Elmore, you got Stevie Browning, you've got John Elmore, you got Marcus Reed. He's going to be playing the position of booster. Then you've got, of course, Ryan Taylor. So you got this West Virginia Marshall feel to it. Adam Klein's on this squad from Alderson Broadus. Orlando Parker, who went to Wagner College. You got him on the squad as well. And, of course, you got a savvy basketball mind in Gay Elmore, repping Virginia Military Institute. But this is a pretty good team here. We'll see. Ryan had a good squad. I mean, they ran into basically they played Ohio State last year. That's where they ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw. And I think that's what the concept is going to be for Best Virginia with those guys. Instead of a collection of really good talent in the state of West Virginia, some of these guys have played with each other, so it's not going to be a chemistry issue. But you look at the Best Virginia team, and they could go far just because you've got a lot of guys who have played, have a language and a chemistry. And that's what's fascinating about them. And some of these teams as well, you get a collection of alumni together. They have a language, they have a chemistry, they have a shorthand. They're going to be – that's a good team. I don't know if this is I don't know if I would throw them out in the NBA right now and say, okay, I'm going to take Best Virginia, throw them against the field. But there's some guys that can still go, I think. Definitely some guys that can still go. And I'm going to be watching a lot of this game. That's going to be on ESPN3. And tonight's matchup with the West Virginia Wildcats, that's coming from Columbus. And if you're going to watch that tonight in Columbus, they're taking on Big X. And that's tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN2. I'm kind of looking at Big X real quick. You've got players from Wesleyan University and Kelly Hogan, Amir Bell from Princeton, Andrew Dakich from Michigan. You got, let's see here, Stuart Douglas from University of Michigan. Western Carolina's Richie Gordon is on this team. C.J. Jackson from Ohio State. Paris Lee from Illinois State. Maverick Morgan from Illinois. Let's see, who else do I recognize? Do I recognize anybody here? Harry Rafferty from Wesleyan. Keyshawn Woods, Ohio State. Yeah, you got some teams here. You got some team here. This might be interesting. I'm going to go on the record. Marshall's going to win this. And when I say Marshall, I mean the West Virginia Wildcats, because you know why? Because it feels like this is Marshall all over again here. You know what would have made this perfect? You know, I don't know if there just wasn't a spot for him. CJ, just John and CJ on this squad. That would have been fun. One more time with those guys. That would have been fun to watch that. And here in a few years after his NBA career, Jansen Williams will be on this team. After your NBA career. Look, I have high ambitions for you.
To the first part, CJ on this team would be tremendous. They'd have like a better shot at winning, all-around player. But definitely in the next 2 years, 3 years, keep your eyes out because I might join this team.
Okay. Do you want to play in this? I mean, not just for the money. You want to get in a tournament like this?
You can't pass up an opportunity to play with, especially when you think it's over. You know, you're done playing with the guys that you have played with for the past 3-4 years. Having a chance, the opportunity to play with them again. Of course, I'd never turn that opportunity down. So if a bunch of my teammates now, join into it, I would love to join into it.
And I guess what's cool about this as well is Columbus. You've got 8 teams that are region host. And if you look at the map, you have Ohio, Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky with Lexington, and Memphis and Tennessee. You've got most of these host teams surrounding West Virginia. So if you're actually wanting to go watch some of this, you could. You could go to Lexington if you wanted to. You can go to Columbus to watch some of this as well.
We're planning on a couple of the teammates were talking about going up there and cheering them on. So, it's all close. It's not too terribly far.
Yeah.
It'll be really pretty fun.
And then you've got also Syracuse, New York, and you have Wichita, Kansas, and Salt Lake City. I mean, if you're an East Coast fan of this is easy for you if you want to go see some of this stuff. Of course, it's going to be on ESPN as well.
That might be too far for me, but yeah. Definitely if you're a West Coast fan.
Well, I like how they've put this together because you're not putting, say, this West Virginia Wildcats team, you're not sticking them out in Salt Lake City. That's what I think is smart about how they've done this as well. Is they've made sure. I mean, sure, if you're a West Coast team, you're sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I'm playing in Richmond. Yeah, it's really really great for us." But a lot of these teams are coming from the East Coast. It feels like.
Yeah, a lot of it's pretty popular in this East Coast side. So it kind of sucks that they got to go all the way out there. But I mean,
you'll take it. All right. So next few years, you're going to be in this thing. Player, coach.
Depending on the situation, player, but I'll definitely be player coach or coach. I'll take any spot as long as I got to be out there with the former teammates. It'd be pretty fun.
That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be fun. See if you could get load this thing up. Just have this be full of Marshall guys.
Nobody else, just only Marshall guys.
Why not?
Let's do it.
I mean,
I'm down.
Who's not on this team you would want to have on this team that can still go?
That's a tough one.
That can still go.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Gonna have to research this a little bit for you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I mean, maybe we go back a few years. We get a Dago Pena. We get a Shaq Johnson. I mean, we go get some of those guys.
If we had those guys, we'd win $2 million.
You think so?
Yes.
Don't tell Shaq Johnson that, man.
If we can get him to play, yeah. Definitely.
Don't tell him that. I'm trying to keep him humble. I told him one time he couldn't beat me one-on-one. I was joking, but he didn't know that. He thought I was serious.
He probably didn't think you were serious.
Yeah, he thinks that I think in my mind that I believe that I can beat him one-on-one.
Yeah, but we're all just joking around.
Well, I know better, but I'm not telling him that. I'm not telling him that. He, by the way, had your very same position.
Really?
Yeah, he actually interned for us as well.
Who's doing a better job? Let's put you on the spot.
Oh, you're here right now, so you know where I'm taking you.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Besides, again, I'm not telling him that. I'm not telling him he did a better job.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah. He's had a great overseas career. He's found success over there.
He's doing a great job over there.
And I don't think that people realize sometimes you don't see guys make the NBA, but there is success to be had, maybe not at the NBA level, but when you play overseas, it's not bad. It's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. The basketball is a lot better.
Oh, it's tremendous. If you can get overseas, means money not taxed, housing's paid for, vehicles paid for, food's paid for, and it's great money, amazing money. The only problem is you're going away from your family here in the States. If you can handle that, then you are set, and you can still make it into the NBA from the EuroLeague. So, how
long are you gone?
Who?
If you're in overseas, you're overseas playing. How long do you usually budget for not being with your family or in the States?
Yeah, so contracts can consist of 1 year's, like a 1 year contract, or like 3 year contract, or 5 year contract, and it all depends on how well you're doing. If you're doing really well, and you're doing well for the team and getting the team exposure, the money will go up, and your contract will be, it'll be more of a better chance of you signing another contract with that team. But each league is different, each country is different. Either way, it's a great situation for you to go overseas. You can go another step and go to the NBA, or you can stay where you're at and make the money you're at tax-free, come home, buy a car, buy a house, and be set. Your college degree, good job, start a family.
All right, we are done. We're out of time. We got to go. Back on Monday, we'll do it all over again. Hopefully, we're going to be at the Union Pub and Grill. Looking forward to catching up with everyone there. For our guest tonight, I want to thank, of course, Jarrod West and Ryan Taylor, both Marshall basketball greats. One still writing his story. One has written his story, at least his Marshall career. For our producers tonight, we got Gabriel Sellards, the senior-most gentleman in the booth. You've been here the longest. You two are about the same age. You've just been here the longest. And, of course, future Marshall basketball Hall of Famer Jansen Williams with us in the program. See, now you have to actually get in the Hall of Fame because I've just set it up. I've built it up. You have to get in. I'll talk to Woody Woodrum. I know a guy. That's going to do it.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.